did bring
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon. As the blue skies blanket the plains of Auburn, the day after Easter, my name is Robert Wilkins, and this is our 20th edition of Citizens Minutes. We had a total of 4 citizens speak concerning zoning changes from NC 20 to NC 15 at 615 South College Street, with one person speaking on behalf of the Samford Group as the applicant. While 3 citizens spoke at the Open Citizens Forum, from drug addiction to the new library logo to pickleball to the STR5 to how Ordinance 3288 paved the way for the downtown hotel developments. But finally, how 2 Auburn surveys support city council raises.
Now, I'm attending this council meeting to state my opposition to Brandon Hayes' request for a zoning change at 615 South College Street from NC 20 to NC 14. This developer's plan is to create a small development of 5 houses, 3 on 615 South College, plus 2 more on the lot just north of that piece of property. It's important to note that the Planning Commission, as stated, has not approved Mr. Hayes' request. Neighborhood voices must be heard and listened to. We do not want, as in their advertising, giant white houses in the neighborhood. We don't want giant white houses on a floodplain. We don't want giant white houses on relatively small lots next to bungalows and ranch-style homes that have the same size lot but have lots of wooded area. We don't want the decimation of large mature trees. We don't want so much concrete on the ground that it endangers the proper flow of water into the creeks. Tinkering with nature's defenses will bring more problems down the road to Auburn.
Representing the Talon Homeowners Association, or otherwise known as the Giant White Houses on South College Street. Sorry. I do believe that there was some opposition, obviously, to our development that came in on South College, and I recognize that fully. However, I do feel that our neighborhood, our little cul-de-sac, did enhance kind of the beauty and preserve the density of the home sites along South College. For reference, we have 6 home sites that sit on 5.2 acres of land on South College. And that is in contrast to this development looking at putting 3 homes on 1.11 acres and an additional 2 lots on about a 0.9 acre lot. So there's some discrepancy and just differences between our development and this other development that's being looked at. On average, the homes on South College probably average between a half acre to an acre for each home site. So again, a departure of putting so many lots or so many home sites on such small density is a departure from the appearance down South College Street. As the name of this development implies, it's I believe, let's see, I want to make sure I say it right, the Spring Creek Estates. There is a creek that runs right through the property. It is at the low point of the hill. If you're driving down South College, it's at the very low point of the hill. Water comes from the Arboretum and is piped underneath South College Street, flows through these 2 properties in the floodplain. All the water runs down South College from the north side, the south side, and all dumps there. So there's a lot of water to be managed there. The removal of most of the current vegetation that's in that area in order to develop that lot is going to remove what draws much of that water. It will affect people down the creek. So just removing all that vegetation, the water will flow, more water will flow through there and not be soaked up by the trees and other vegetation that's there. There will be future development requests along South College. There are many older homes. There will be another generation of homeowners, and opening the door to rezoning just opens the door for future requests for rezoning. And I really think the city should really look at preserving at a minimum half-acre lots along South College. It's the main thoroughfare for visitors and people coming to Auburn, come right down South College Street, and we really want to preserve the beauty of that space. And so that's kind of my thoughts to just share with you all our concerns from our neighborhood in
Rezoning on 615 South College Street, and I urge the council to vote against this rezoning because of the irreversible damage it will cause to the nature and wildlife in the area. We've already seen developments in the area which have led to wildlife getting pushed closer to the roads and closer to the streets, and their homes being pushed out. In my home, I spend a lot of the time back there in the creek and looking around, and I've noticed that there are more fallen trees because of because the ground gets impervious when there's a lot of asphalt or concrete or buildings, and so that's going to increase runoff into the creek. Instead of going out at night and you can see all the stars and you can listen to the sounds of nature, it's now you can hear the background of College Street and you can see the lights of the highway as the cars drive by. And I really think that takes away a lot of Auburn, and it's how it balances being a town and also having this wonderful bit of nature within it. So I think that in the worries of preserving the creek and the wildlife around, I think it would be best if the council voted against this and any future things that could protect the environment. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I'd like to first remind you, and I'm glad that it was brought up, that the Planning Commission denied this development plan. Well, some of the reasons, and we have a Planning Commission for a reason. The Planning Commission is supposed to approve developments that come up. They have the authority to look at them and then to either approve or deny them. And when they consider all of the indicators of this development, they decided that they were going to deny it. And there are some of the legitimate concerns that they had, and a lot of them had to do with compliance with water quality and safety. 50% of this area they would like to divide is in the floodplain. There's a perennial stream that runs through the development. The development's going to require a waiver of a water resource plan to get approval for management of the streamside management zone, plus for the streamside zone to be managed forever because you have to maintain the banks of the stream as it runs through the development. They also talked about having to do wetlands mitigation, and what that means is in their development they're going to destroy part of the wetlands that are adjacent to this stream, and in order for them to be able to do that, they have to buy on a 2-to-1, 2 acres to 1 acre indication. They have to go out somewhere else and remediate wetlands that will be in wetlands in perpetuity for whatever wetlands they destroy on the development of this process. My question is, how close is this wetland remediation going to be to South College Street? Is it going to be way off up here in the conservation district we were just talking about? We don't know. In closing, I'd like to make this comment. In this development, the proposal is going to require variances and exceptions both in water resource plan and in safety plans with multiple houses on one driveway. My question is, why open the city up to harmful unintended water resource, traffic congestion consequences, all to just approve a developer's desire to create extra lots close to the city? Just because you can meet this change technically doesn't mean that it's a good idea. If you look at the city's Comp 2030 plan, it stresses the importance of South College Street as being a gateway into the city. Do we want to come on South College Street, 2 blocks from campus, and have 5 houses located on less than 2 acres of land with 4 of them sharing one driveway? I would suggest and recommend that City Council turn this proposal down. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Hayes Eifert. I'm with Samford Group. I'm here on behalf of the applicant. I'm happy to answer any questions that you all may have, or I can answer concerns that were raised here today, whatever order. Primarily, there's a couple of things here that I just wanted to clear up regarding the floodplain and stream issues that were brought up by several citizens. In that regard, the city has mechanisms in place to protect these things, and we will have to go through those processes, no matter what the fact with this development, to abide by city manual requirements. We will work with city staff to do so. The developer has no intent of coming in and mitigating any wetlands or streams on this property. We've already had extensive conversations about the floodplain and how that's going to be addressed on this site, just due to the nature of how it sits in its existing condition with that floodplain. The lot also has an odd shape due to where that stream hits. And so a lot of this rezoning will allow us to maintain a density that is very consistent with NC 14, NC 20 area. But due to the odd nature of how we are having to shape these lots around the natural features to maintain that stream, this rezoning would really aid in developing the property in that way. Another thing here is, by right, we believe that we can fit 4 lots currently. This would get it to 5 lots. That would drive down massive white houses, if you will, down to a more, they'll still be large houses, but they'll be more consistent with what is typical in NC 20 or.
No.
Taylor,
No.
Witten,
No.
Adams,
No.
Oblence,
No.
Dawson,
No, ma'am.
Griswold,
No, ma'am.
Mormon,
No, ma'am.
Anders.
No.
Right, Mayor, that motion fails.
I work for People Engaged in Recovery, PEER. We are a nonprofit organization of people in long-term recovery. I can stand here all day and tell you my story, but we all know what the story of somebody who's been down the road of addiction is. I'm not here today just to address the board, but also the community as a whole. Anybody trying to find help from substance use disorder faces many, many barriers, especially in this community. 3 years ago, the only way I could get to treatment was by getting arrested and begging a judge to let me go. Today, I stand before you working as an advocate for those that are trying to find their pathway. I wanted to let the community and the council know that we are here to help in any way when it comes to substance use disorder in our community, bring awareness, and also to educate the community, because it is not a moral failing, but it is a mental health issue that needs to be addressed.
I want to thank the STR5 because I had to pay less taxes. That includes Taylor and Griswold and Parsons, Dawson, and of course the mayor.
Thank you.
We're glad that Ordinance 3288 has paved the way for the downtown hotels, like the hotel being built on Gay Street. The owner only has 6 hotels or 7 in the area. Of course, another 6 or 7 in the areas of Columbus and some other areas. So I feel sorry for him. With the Anders Hotel also by the AJ Capital at $5.3 billion and under the flagship of Hilton. The city manager says she's a stickler for vehicle purchases. When are we going to get a breakout of the 870 vehicles and equipment? Because I believe data is important, just like data should have been important with a short-term rental. There was no data. There's no data on the vehicles. The reason Griswold continuously is the only one that votes for it is because you 8 members do not have any data. I think you have to prove that you need certain things. If you're going to make a decision on voting, if not, just let the city manager continue. Council dealing with raises. I believe you should need raises. I did 2 polls in the next door. 18 weeks ago, 16% said you should get $12,000 a year. 15% of the people said $18,000. 20% said $24,000 a year. You need more money. But 50% said stay at $7,200. But 2 weeks ago, that changed. 33% said $12,000 to $18,000 a year. 31%, which I believe, said full-time council members. We need a full town council members because we have a city that's growing very fast, and we have a two system, a management system and a council, and y'all are in charge, and I don't believe you have enough time to do those things.
This is what the city has approved as the new library logo, and the t-shirts are available today. I got one of the first ones, and so hopefully you'll see kids and adults around town with all this advertisement and free shirts, and if you still have 2 weeks to get stuff logged in for this 2-month 1,000 minutes of reading, and they'll start another one, I believe, in May. I also want to celebrate that tomorrow the pickleball courts open up, at least the first batch of them, and a whole bunch of people plan on being out. I don't know how many a whole bunch is, but a bunch of people will be down there at 7 o'clock in the morning. I can't play yet, but and I'm not going to go because I will want to. Renew Active and Silver Sneakers both as providing memberships that are free to the Auburn public that are members of that, and I wanted to give a little explanation to you in case you weren't familiar with it. The insurance companies and Medicare in general has decided that it's really good for we old people to keep active, and it costs them less in the long run if they pay for us to get out and do things. And rec centers are a really good place for us to do things like that. And they've developed a thing called Silver Sneakers that a lot of groups use. And now there's Renew Active, which is used by all of us that are on Medicare, that are former city employees, sheriffs, police officers, fire department, university, school, any public employees, which Auburn has an awful lot of people in that. So all of those who qualify can get memberships to all of Lake Wilmore and the other facilities for zero cost to us. Now, that doesn't mean the city doesn't get money. So if you get people start complaining to you, well, how come these people get it for free? That they have to fill out paperwork at the Parks and Rec to file with the insurance companies who then pay for it. So I wanted you to have that information in case you start hearing from people complaining about it. But let's celebrate pickleball.
Citizens question. Patty asks, why does Mayor Anders never mention Citizens Open Forum? Well, Patty, the reason we started Citizens Minutes is because Mayor Anders never mentions citizens' concern in his mayor's minutes. It is a sad thing that any mayor cares so little about his citizens. Margaret Mead was an American cultural anthropologist, author, and speaker, and was quoted, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." Unquote. Please make comments or become a guest speaker on Citizens Minutes by going to nextdoor.com or youtube.com. Your counsel is only as good as information that you gather. Until next time.